Yeah, here we are live. Welcome to the OBO Orange Blossom Opry Social, everyone. We got a little bit of an issue going on here, but I think we got everything underway. Welcome, everybody. Look at all the folks in here. My gosh, the place is packed this morning. I am your humble correspondent, Bobby Randall, along with the man, the myth, the legend, Dangerous Dave, everybody.
You're going to have to start calling me Donut Dave.
Yeah, Donut Dave, Donut King Dave, along with our sidekick, Fast Eddie. And up there is producer Kurt and sound man extraordinaire, Mr. Nathan Smith, is here with us this morning. So everybody's here to kick around. Remember, the show's about you folks. If you have some questions, Mike's here somewhere. Where's Mike?
I'm here.
There he is, with all of them. It's kind of like old home week for us. I know you've known Shane for a long time.
Long
too,
time.
Right?
Long time.
So how did you know him? Through his...
when we were kids, I have to say kids because we were in our 21, 22 years old.
Yeah.
He had his family band, of course, the Wild West band.
Yeah.
And me and my brother had a band, and it seemed like every week we were either following them or they were following us, and we just kept running up and down the same roads. We did that whole mountain circuit, you know, back when the road bands were still real popular, you know.
When you could still do that.
When you could still do that for a living.
His dad made the coolest thing. He had, they had a bus, and a lot of guys were doing that back then, getting school buses, getting buses, because basically you lived on it. And he had a trailer in the back that he put all their gear in, and somehow Shane's dad rigged this ramp that his car could go on top of
the trailer. It was really cool.
So they drove around in this.
But of course, they were the coolest band because they didn't convert a school bus. They actually had a Silver Eagle.
Yeah, they had a real bus.
Yeah, they had a Silver Eagle, and me and my brother, we run around in a dually.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
In a crew cab dually with a gooseneck.
Whatever it takes. When I met Shane, I was not in Sawyer Brown then, and I was working for Sony, and what I did was they would tell me to go find some guy, or they would find somebody, and they would give me money and say, here, go in and produce sides on this guy because we think he's a star. I recorded tons of people. I don't know, I want to say tons, but I probably recorded 100 people, different people. And sometimes they'd do things with them, sometimes they didn't. I walked into this bar in Jackson Hole where I hang out a lot. I used to really hang out a lot back then. And I heard this guy singing, and I went, man, what a cool voice that is. What's going on with that? So I went up there, and it was Shane. And it was a whole family band. So I met him. I got to know his mom, dad, and everybody. And it was kind of like, man, I don't know how to tell you this, but I wish you'd moved to Nashville because, he's really, really good, And, of course, it was the end of the family band when that happened, which was kind of a odd thing. Now, did you tell me you might have been in line for that job or something?
Yeah, actually, when Shane moved, Anita called me and said, hey, would you be interested in coming out with us?
Yeah.
And my brother had actually just got off the road, so our band had just dissolved. And I was playing with a band out of South Dakota at that time.
Interesting. Well, then Shane, I got him to move to Nashville. He lived with me for quite a while. And life goes on, and this and that, and this and that, and then one thing leads to another. And he, I produced a bunch of sides on him. I tried to get him a record deal. I did a bunch of stuff, and man, it was so good. But and a record company has a million reasons to tell you no. I don't like the way you wear your hair or whatever. And so anyway, I couldn't get that to happen for him. But when Duncan left the band, who was the guy that replaced me in Sawyer Brown. There was a little talk about, hey, what about coming back, Bobby? What about doing this? And I said, I don't know, but you need to call this guy. Call Shane Hill. And Shane Hill's been in the band longer than I was and longer than the guy that replaced me. So even though he's the new guy, and he's absolutely awesome. And he's an awesome.
I'm surprised he had enough energy to actually play in the second show after having to try out every one of the guitars between you, Dave, and Keith. He spent all his time just doing that.
Yeah, we were back there. We had a little bit of a guitar show going.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Everybody's well, and then the song "Some Girls Do," which is one of Sawyer Brown's big records. There's a twin guitar part on it. And he said, so we sat down, and he and I learned that and like that quick, and went out, and so we were messing around. It was really just awesome, awesome day with everybody, and getting to see the boys, Hobe, and all that. It was just, it was awesome.
And my 16-year-old is in town for the summer. Davey came,
Yeah.
and Sunday he came to the show.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he came to the late show, and all these huge hits Sawyer Brown has, and then of course we played beforehand, and Davey goes, "Well, I got to hear one of my favorite songs," and I'm thinking, okay, well, which Sawyer Brown song? He goes, "I got to hear Should Have Been a Cowboy." It was the one song Shane sang in the Sawyer Brown show.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. But anyway, they're off to Wyoming. That's where they are.
Yep, they're doing the very last Chris Ledoux Days. Chris Ledoux Days has been a thing in Casey, Chris Ledoux's hometown, every year for, I want to say, over 20 years.
And it's going away.
And this is the last year. Chris Ledoux's mom has been putting it together, and she's getting too old and tired for it. So
how well I know that story.
yeah, but actually, my brother lives in Casper, Wyoming. He's going to be going and seeing Shane because, like I said, my brother and I have a band, and so he knows Shane as well as, or as long as I have.
Awesome. So. All right. Well, it was awesome, and if you all were here, I'm pretty sure you got your money's worth because it was lots of fun.
Fun time.
And moving along, let's see what's going on this weekend. This Thursday is Classic Country.
Yeah.
And our special guest will be Melissa. It's hard for me to say.
Lashaway.
Melissa Lashaway. She will be here. She's awesome and sings a bunch of things. I have no idea what songs we're going to play yet because I haven't even started on that. But I'll start on that as soon as I get my motorcycle running, which is another problem I have. Then Friday night is Friday Night Live. And as I just saw, the tickets went by. There's only a few tickets left for Friday Night Live. So if you want to come see us on Friday night, grab your tickets. On Saturday, the Van Morrison Tribute Band will be here. Now, I wasn't really excited about them last year because I thought, well, the only song I know is Brown Eyed Girl. And but they did really well. I think they sold out last year, a big crowd. And
excellent band.
Yeah, they were awesome. They were awesome. And so they will be here. And ticket sales for that are pretty high. There's only a few tickets left for that on Saturday. So if you want to check those guys out. And then, of course, Sunday, big day again here.
Yes.
We're closed. That goes on then. And then we're getting close, though, y'all, to our break. And I think, wouldn't you say it'd be a fair assessment to say that the boys in the band we're all kind of ready for that?
I'd say so, yeah. We need a little bit of time off.
I think Keith's got his bags packed and his truck's running right now, out there in the parking lot because
he's counting the hours.
Yeah, he's all excited to get back in.
Keith told me a secret. I don't know if he wants anybody to know yet, but
well, nobody's listening. Go
he's
ahead.
He's looking at another bike.
Oh no, he is.
Yeah,
Oh,
not to replace the bike that he has, but in addition to, so he can have one there and one here.
Why wouldn't you do that, right?
Because he's been jonesing to go ride, and he borrowed a friend, so he and I went to Daytona. But man, especially now, the evenings are so nice, perfect to ride. And
you think he'll get an Indian?
No, actually, he's got a friend up in Virginia that has an electric glide for sale.
Oh, yeah, that rascal. You guys really putting pressure on me because I folded. I was going to buy a new bike. I was on it, and I was not going to. Then I was, and then I found this classic car I liked, and then I got myself. It was a '64 Chevy, which was the first car I ever had. So I was on that. Now I'm off that, and it's like a drug addict. And okay, so I'm back in my lane. And
the bike won't start.
Yeah, and my buddies won't help me any because Dan bought a new bike. Mike bought a new bike. Roger, I don't know where the hell he is. Roger didn't, but is going to buy a new bike. And so I thought, no, I'm going to ride this bike this year, no matter what. And now it's broke down in the garage and won't start. So,
and time's getting short.
Yeah, and what else is bad is it's just miserably hot outside. I can hardly stand to go outside and then have to wrench on the motorcycle. So I rely on my friend Mike to come over. Mike, come work on my bike.
How'd that work for you?
Well, we didn't get it running. Mike was over and we gave her our best shot at it, but we couldn't get it running. I don't know what's the matter with the dang thing, but I know a buddy that's got a trailer.
Yeah, I do.
So
I got a good trailer for you.
that's going to be the next thing. If we can't get it running today, I'm going to.
It's going to run today.
And I'll actually let you get the ramp this time, so you
Yeah?
don't have to pick the bike up.
Oh, God, yeah, no kidding. Well, anyway, that's what's going on. To finish the year out, or up to the break, everybody, on June 21st, the Meatloaf Tribute Band will be here. They were sold out last year. I presume they'll be sold out again this year. They were amazing. And then our boy, Kevin Kingston, you all know Kevin, was a bass player here for many, many years. And he's going to come back and play do a CCR tribute show, all the music of Creedence Clearwater Revival. And I think that show's already sold out. So, and that leads us up to the break. And
Yes.
we're excited about that. Eddie, have you got an album for us today?
Yeah, I have, actually, it's very cool. Nathan's pictures on this album. Nathan,
What?
This is Nathan's friend, and I'm a diehard fan of Judy Rodman. And
Oh, yeah.
She's an amazing person. Nathan's and
Yep.
Caroline both are really good friends with her. And Nathan had got my album signed when he went back to. He still does a bunch of work with her, right, Nathan?
Yeah, I think he
Occasionally,
still does.
does a bunch of work with Judy. She's amazing. She's mainly doing now. I don't think she's recording as much, but she's a vocal coach. And
I'm in the middle of doing a record for her right now.
that's
as
awesome.
we speak.
You the man. Tell her I said hi.
Yeah, Nathan, when Nathan came down here, I've known Nathan for years before before any of this. And what Nathan used to do is he had a studio in Nashville, and songwriters, and this kind of went away, but I hate to use the words back in the day, but back in the day, you'd write a song. So you write a couple songs. Well, maybe you can't sing, or maybe you don't have a band, and so you go into a studio and you record your songs. And the reason you do that is because you want a copy of it, but then in Nashville, people do that, and then they try to pitch their songs to artists. Well, Nathan had a really extremely good reputation in town for getting great sounds out of a studio. Amazing little thing, and his price was pretty reasonable. And so he would get publishing companies. That means that's like a guy that's got 5 writers, or companies that got 10 writers or something. And then some of the biggest writers in town would come to his studio and record. And so that's kind of how that business worked, I guess, in a crash course. And
Including you.
yeah, well, including me. That's how I ended up there. I came up there, and I was at this other studio one time, and it was okay. And a buddy of mine said, "Well, man, if you ever want to try something different, you ought to go over and try Nathan Smith's." And I went, "Who's Nathan Smith?" "Well, he's a guy that does this. Man, I went over there one time and I was hooked. Bang. And years and years we worked up there. But that business kind of went away and has kind of dried up because of the computer. Because now you can have your own studio on a phone. You can just get up here and, it is what it is, but they've got GarageBand and they've got all this other stuff. And everybody I know is a producer. I'm a producer. Oh, are you really? Yeah, why? Well, I got a studio. Do you have a studio? Well, they got a computer. And they're producers. But it's a whole different thing, that, from what really goes on in the real world.
And anyway, mom's basement.
Right. I mean, and so when Nathan moved here, he brought his whole studio here, and he's continued to upgrade his studio. And in Central Florida here, he's got an amazing studio, and we still do a lot of work there, and he still does a lot of work from his clients in Nashville. So between that and the Orange Blossom Opry and his parole, he's pretty busy with his, what do they make him do? When you see a guy out there picking up papers on the expressway, that's Nathan working off some other things. Anyway.
Speaking of those projects, we just cut some sides for Gage.
Yes, we did.
And they sounded good, man.
Yep, they were
I got
awesome.
to listen to those, and they're sounding real good.
Well, as the Orange Blossom Opry sounds in here, band sounds in here, I don't want to say it's the same thing. It's probably more of a nightmare here because Nathan has no control over us, but to speak. But in the studio, I mean, if you've ever gone there, it's an amazing kind of thing, or it'll drive you crazy. But I mean, you spend half an hour just making the kick drum sound really good, and then the drums, and then the bass, and then the vocal and all that, and then you blend all that together. And Nathan's a genius. I always said he's a genius at that stuff.
I'm pretty sure he's actually shut your mic off before, so he has some control over you.
Yes, he has shut my mic off a time or two. That
Hey.
right there. But so that what he does there in mixing all of those records applies to his work here at the Orange Blossom Opry. He kind of it's more on the fly here than it is there. But anyway,
Bobby, you may not appreciate this.
I don't.
Sunday night, you came out and said that Sawyer Brown had done a nice thing for you.
Oh,
And most of us didn't know what it was.
Yeah,
There may be an opportunity to show that, but as well as what Kurt will show up there, you've talked.
Oh, you dogs! Yeah,
That's very cool. They're hanging up out beside Bobby's dressing room.
yeah.
But along with that, Bobby, you've talked to us about Sawyer Brown. You've talked to us about Confederate Railroad, and you played with Charlie Daniels and all those guys. But I think there's one band that you haven't actually admitted to being a part of.
I probably forgot.
Well, I don't think you forgot. I think you're just trying to dodge the issue. But based on some of your attire lately, I think you were heavily influenced while you were riding around with the Partridge Family.
It's awful.
Well, you know, Keith was part of that too. He was the little red-headed bass player.
Yeah, we were all Partridge Family boys. Nice move, fellas. You know what was sad is the day that I wore that, my wife showed up with some kind of shirt, almost the same thing in it. And I said, damn, I got the same shirt on my wife has on. Except my wife said, I don't wear, what'd she say, Karen? I don't wear lace. Oh, yeah, she said, I don't wear, yeah, something like that. She said, I don't wear lace. Yeah, anyway, the Sawyer boys, you know what all that, I guess to sum all that up, I mean, they were going to give that to me on stage, and Hobie said, you wouldn't be able to do that. Mark would have started crying, and so would Bobby, and so would he. So the crowd would have said, well, I showed up and watched all the Sawyer Brown show. All they did is cry through the whole show. But
Pretty cool. Can you throw those back up again, Kurt?
I guess the only thing I can say about that is,
That's a lot of records sold, man.
I did something in my life that made a difference, and it was nice of them to recognize that. So, thank you. Anyway, on with that before I get all choked up again.
Don't forget online that we do take your questions on our YouTube page and our Facebook page. And while we're speaking of the YouTube and Facebook,
Yeah, let 'em have it, Dave.
Don't forget to download our new Orange Blossom Opry app.
Go.
We do have an official Orange Blossom app. It's available on all your app platforms, available for iPhone and Android. It's absolutely free. You can keep track of all the cool new shows. We have our great new flyers just came out today. So you can see all these great shows that are going to be coming up. You can buy your tickets right there online. A lot of tickets. It's next Tuesday that these go on sale, right?
Yeah.
Next Tuesday we have all our August and September tickets going on sale. So make sure
August is already on.
August is already on. Okay, then the September
September
tickets
through November.
will be going on sale next Tuesday. So you can get a jump on everybody by having that Orange Blossom Opry app, and make sure to be sending your questions in and liking and subscribing and sharing all our posts.
Yeah.
So our online friends can get the word out, and we're pretty much worldwide. I know there's quite a few people over in Europe. There was a guy that came to the Opry, I want to say about 2 months ago. I saw him on a Friday night, and we do our meet and greet there. And I was talking to this gentleman. He said he's from England,
Yeah.
and he said that he never misses a Friday Night Live.
Wow.
I was like, well, what time is it there?
Yeah. What day is it?
And it's
It'd be
kind of late.
See, no, it'd be 7 hours ahead of us in England.
Yeah, so if it's 7 p.m.
Yeah, he's 2 in the morning. So
Yeah.
you know one of two things: either he's not married, or he and his wife aren't getting along, because he's watching TV at 3 in the morning.
But we've had quite a few people comment on the YouTube page that watching from Finland or watching from Germany or places like that. I've got some friends in Germany that have tuned in.
Getting out there. So our flyer looks real good. Have any of y'all ever been in a band, or have any of y'all ever tried to take a group picture? In the group picture, there's always one guy that looks like an idiot, and in both of these pictures, it seems to be me. This first picture over here is pretty good. It's a real good picture. The one with Chris is out front is pretty fun, although I look dead, like a weekend at Bernie's, like they set me up. But this one right here is, and you look at everybody else, Laura Kay looks beautiful. Okay, Chris looks good. You always look handsome, Dave. Keith looks cool. Dougie and I both look like stand-up cardboard cutouts from Lonesome Dove. All right, so we have a question online. Come on, bring it.
JR has asked who in the band has taken lessons and who just learned by ear.
You know, they always say that you learn by ear, but I've never seen anybody play guitar with their ear. Have you? I don't. You go first.
Well, both my older brothers played, so that's how I got a kickstart that way. I would just watch them, and then so I played like kind of home taught for first couple years. But then in high school and later in college, I actually pursued music and went through the classes and the ear training and the theory and all that.
Yep, I did. I went to college and I was a grammar major. Now, I didn't go very long. I went to the drive-through window because I got interrupted by a little piece of paper from the government that said, "Greetings." But I played violin in the orchestra and all through junior high and in high school. I took guitar lessons, quite a bit of guitar lessons. But then I really, here's what I did. When I got into playing steel guitar, I took lessons from Paul Franklin.
Oh, wow.
And what happened was, I knew Paul from Michigan. He's an old Michigan guy. And back in the day, we all say that, he would do, I think he did it for tons of people, cassettes, little cassettes. And you could get lessons, and so I would take lessons. I spent lots of time taking lessons on the pedal steel and learning stuff. But here's something that I do that I don't know if you all know, but I try to learn something new every week or something. I practice my guitar and try to, when we learn a guitar, dangerous. We just worked out a lick on an old Beatles song. So I try to learn something new, every week on my fiddle, a different part, a different thing. When we learn new songs, we have to learn always another part or something. So it's always, I think we're always learning.
Well, yeah, and with Friday Night Live, that's what keeps the show energy up. Is that we add sometimes 4 songs a week.
Yeah, new songs. Well, we were talking about speaking about Sawyer Brown. We were discussing, and my wife said, did you miss that? You want to go back to do that? I would not be telling you the truth. I still like to travel. We're going on vacation. A bunch of us are all going, 3, 4, Dan's here. Did Roger leave?
Yeah, he had something else to go.
Okay, well, 3, 4 of the guys, Nathan, 4 or 5 of us are all going to ride Harleys. And I like to travel. So that part of the business I kind of liked. It's cool waking up in Denver or waking up in Cheyenne and waking up in some other town and having a little bit of time to yourself. But I get plenty of time to do that here. But the thing that I don't have here that you have there is the guitar player. I don't know how many of you guys know we're here at the show, but the guitar player that stands in the back, his name is Joe Erkman. I hired him in the band, so you know how long ago that was. And he's been in that band playing those same songs for 40 years. And that's good because, again, that's an accomplishment. I got gold records, which is kind of cool. But as a music guy and with ADD, it works a lot better for me being able to have multiple things to do. And I like the opportunity of, of learning new songs. And it works your brain we learn new songs. And I'm pretty hard on these guys about not getting... not reading the words, learn the songs, get your brain to learn. So we're always doing something. Down here first. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. That was Emmett Mills.
Hi, Emmett.
Bubba. That was one of the great things about what you were talking about with Sawyer Brown, and afterwards was mailbox money, which was always fun. And then traveling in the bus it's nice stopping in different cities and so on and so forth, but it's also sometimes you'll sit around and actually work on a song while you're traveling, if you're not sleeping, if you're not driving overnight. But that's quite once you do it, once it happens, and once it gets in your blood, it doesn't leave.
Yeah, it's like being a truck driver.
It is.
or people, airplane pilot, that sort of thing. The hardest thing about playing in a band, in a touring band, is, you think about we call it cheeking in the thing, and what cheeking means is, the bus has got a little lounge up front that's probably smaller than every one of your all's kitchens, probably the size of your bathroom, and then it's couches on the side, and then there's a real narrow hallway, and your bunks are on the side. Everybody sleeps in there. Well, if you're going this way and I'm going that way in the hallway, you end up cheeking because you face the bunks and I face the bunks, and we pass each other, and you kind of.
Yeah, it'd be kind of awkward if you faced each other.
Yeah, so that's what you do. You kind of bump butts there a little bit.
You have a question online?
Yes, sir. Come on, bring it.
So from YouTube, what is the age range of the band members?
Most of us are under 40.
Yeah, 20 to 40.
20 to 40. Yeah, it's none of your business. Now, I'll stand forth and say I'm the oldest guy in the band. So I'm 72 years old. So and yesterday, not yesterday. What's today? What is today? Tuesday? I don't know what day it is.
Chris is the youngest, by the way,
yeah.
if you're wondering.
Chris is the youngest. I'm the oldest. Yesterday, I did a stress test because I'm a physical guy. I like to take care of myself, and so I always do. I do all this stuff, and I aced the treadmill. And she went in there, and you had to get my heart rate up to 130. And I said, "Let's do it." And she said, "Oh my God, you're supposed to have people here." And so, I mean, I'll probably fall over dead from something else, but right now,
I learned a very important lesson yesterday.
Yo.
We took Davey to Disney yesterday.
Yeah.
Don't go to Disney in June.
Oh God, don't go to no.
Or
Here's a better thing. Don't go outside. I can't stand to go outside. I mean, we have the whole month of July off, and I can't wait to get out of here just because it's going to be miserable for a couple of days. But when we get up in the north, I'm going to get up into Wyoming and up in the mountains. Although I know South Dakota will be hot as hell.
Yeah, but you just admitted you're going to wake up in Paducah. You're not going to stay awake to get there.
No.
We have another question online.
Yep, come on.
The question is, why is Joe not on the promo pics if he's been there 40 years like Shane is?
Well, this all started back when I was in the band. And Davey can attest to this, and so can Nathan, because they're both studio rats and understand making records. So as a guitar player, and now all of a sudden I'm on Capitol Records, and we've got money, and we've got nothing but time and fun, so let's put down a guitar part. Hey, let's put another guitar part down. Dave, you know exactly how this works. So I would end up a lot of times, and we still do that, playing 4 or 5 guitars, maybe as many as 6 guitars on a record. And you don't realize that we're talking about gauge. So I played acoustic guitar, and then Dave played 2 passes of electric guitar on Gage's stuff. So you listen to it, you won't ever think about that stuff. But there's 3 guitars on there, not counting the bass and drums and all that. So what happens is, because I got all the freedom in the world to do whatever I want, I'd load it up with guitars if you go listen to some of those things. So we didn't, and Mark, no disrespect to Mark, but Mark's not a guitar player. He's an incredible frontman and singer and songwriter, but he's not a guitar player. So way back in the day, we hired an extra guitar player. Here's an interesting story if you care. His name was Michael Thomas, and I love Michael. Michael was the first guy to come out and play guitar with us, so he was an extra guy who was not in the band. He was just there. We paid Michael really, really well. And Michael probably would have been, because this was just about the time Brent Mason's coming to town, could have maybe been Brent Mason. He was an amazing, amazing guitar player. So he comes out with us, and he and I did all the guitar stuff together. And he left. I got to tell you this whole story because it's crazy. So he leaves, and he gets a job. Boy, that makes me nervous when things bang behind me. He leaves, and he gets a job with Reba McEntire. And within 2 years, he went down on Reba's plane and was killed. And I was pallbearer at his funeral. And then the guy who replaced him, I hired a guy named Tom Murphy. And so Tom Murphy works for us for about 2 years, extra guitar player. And he says, I'm going to go to work at Gibson. And I got this dumb idea that I'm going to try to make these new guitars look old. I'm going to try to do that. and you can tell them about
The Murphy Lab guitars now they start at like $8,000 and go up to over 15 grand. You could pay more for a Murphy Lab than an actual old Gibson.
Yeah, you can get it. So he became really, really successful with that. So when he left, I had played in a band with Joe Erkman before, even before Sawyer Brown. He played in the Don King band with me. I played steel, and he was the guitar player. And so I called up Joe because I knew him. I said, hey, man, we got a slot open for an extra guitar player. Would you be interested in coming out on the road? And he's been out there over 40 years. So that's why that's kind of how the position he was hired in. It wasn't to be as, I don't want to say a member of the band. Hell, he's been there forever. But that's kind of what his position is. That's what that position was and still is. So
and he's every bit as good a guitar player as myself.
Oh no, Joe Erkman's
he's a fantastic guitar player.
Great guitar player, and they use him kind of for the same thing, as a what do they call those guys that play all kinds of things?
A utility man.
Yeah, a utility man. So he plays different things. He plays
mandolin. He plays tic tac. He plays
baritone and all that stuff. So good job.
We have another question over here.
Yeah.
One thing though, one comment was that the band that you have, the Orange Blossom Opry Band, probably one of the best chemistry bands I've seen on stage, where everyone seems to really, really get along. And all of the bands that you come here on Saturday nights and so on and so forth, they have to really, really work to get as good as this Orange Blossom Opry Band. And that's a fact. This gentleman has a question.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Hi.
Yes, sir.
My name is Hal Fuller, and I live in Tavares.
Yeah, hi, Hal. Good
And-
morning.
Good morning, Bobby.
Yes, sir.
And Bobby, how did they come up with the name Sawyer Brown? Was it in family name or
No.
no?
So the name of the band was called, the band was first called the Aldous Anthony Band. That's what we called it right out of the box. Aldous is my middle name and Anthony's Mark's middle name. So it was the Aldous Anthony Band. Then we started looking for a band. Then it was named, it was called Sand Gap for a while. I don't know why we called it that, but that was it. And then we decided to call the band Savannah. So the band, there's a bunch of promo pictures, and it was spelled, there's two spellings of Savannah. It was spelled with an H. So that was the name of our band for a long time. It was Savannah. And then I want to say at the Star Search thing, somewhere in the line, I can't remember what happened or how it happened, but somehow we got served with somebody had already had a copyright on that name with both spellings, and it was a legal thing that came to us, and we had to come up with a new name for the band. So I was a fan of those fictitious names like Leonard Skinner. There's nobody named that. There's Barefoot Jerry. There's nobody that. There was a band in Nashville called Wet Willie. I thought those kind of names were cool. And I remember we had J.D. Stetson. I wish I could remember the next. Anyway, we had a bunch of names in this bag. And there was a guy that was booking our band at the time who was a young booking agent at that time who went on to be the head guy at William Morris. He said, hey, guys, I live on this road called Sawyer Brown Road. What about Sawyer Brown? Bang. That was it. And when we got real big, when we were really rocking back in the 80s, people would come to Nashville and steal the street signs. All over the place, people bolting down. So finally, we started making street signs and selling them. I don't think they do it anymore, but ours were just plastic. But people would come to town and steal the street signs. So anyway, that's the story of that. That's where the name comes. Nobody named Sawyer Brown in the band. All right, Facebook question, come on.
What key do you play Hotel California? A flat, question mark?
Okay, well, we play it in the record key a half step down. we cheat a little bit because it's really high to sing. So Keith can sing it in the record key, which is B minor, but we tune. I have a guitar specifically tuned a half step down. So we're actually playing in B flat minor, but it's the finger positions is B minor.
Hey, can I tell who was at the first show, a Sawyer Brown show? First show? All right. So here's a little inside story. He's telling you that, and what I did for a long time when we with Keith, was because it's a half step down. Davey and I would bring out, you see how many guitars we have, we bring out another guitar tuned a half step down. So those were our Hotel Californias and some of the ones Keith sang that's a half step lower. Well, I have a little box that now you can step on, and it will automatically lower your guitar a half step. Bring from like just amazing.
Modern technology.
Modern technology. So I don't need to bring out those two guitars anymore, right? So Hotel California is the last song we played with with the Orange Blossom Opry Band. So I don't touch anything. I forget all about that. Well, all the guys in Sawyer Brown wear in-ears, so there's no monitors. You can't kind of hear anything. I didn't do that. I said, I'll just wing it. I'll go out there. I know these songs like the back of my hand, and I can't hear anything, but I can hear Nathan's out front, so I'll be good. Well, I forgot to push that damn button. So the first song's a song called Smoking in the Rockies, and so I land on that note. Well, I still can't really hear anything except the drums. And then when the band starts coming in, I think, what the heck? And I look at Shane. He's got this horrifying look on his face. And I thought, that box. So that box has caught me a couple of different times. You got to run over there and stomp it. There was a guy named Dustin Jenkins that used to be here, play here, who used to come over on purpose when I wasn't looking and stomp on it. And your guitar just goes right down.
Now you're giving me
question.
ideas.
Facebook.
Is it possible to have Keith and Dave playing dueling guitars together? Not sure if it's been done, but I haven't seen them both playing guitar together. Bobby is so talented, he could play bass for a couple of tunes.
Let me tell you about my bass story at the Orange Blossom Opry. I can't remember what happened, but Bobby had to play bass.
I've heard this story. It's a good one.
And I can play okay, but I really have to concentrate. I really have to sit there and play. And I can't sing and play bass at the same time. And those guys can do it in their sleep. But I got to really concentrate to play. Also, all of my bass playing, which doesn't amount to much, but is always done on a 4-string bass. It was Kevin Kingston's bass. He's got a 5-string bass, so that's a whole different thing. They're going to play Sweet Home Alabama. I don't even know why I was playing bass. It's in G, I think, but whatever key it's in. Anyway, the D string on the bass guitar, I hit it and I can hear it's out of tune. So I just reach up and grab where I normally think the D string is, crank it. It's not going. I crank it again. It's not going. What? The band's getting ready to start, and I'm on the wrong peg because there's 5 strings I'm on where I think would be, and it's the wrong one. Now I've cranked some other string into the key of OG's, and so it was awful. And it was my first and only appearance here at the Orange Blossom Opry as the bass player. So the answer to your question is probably not.
I've heard that Bobby feels so strongly about bass that you actually gave your bass away.
I did. I gave it away. That's what happened. I gave my bass to Ben Isaacs. That's what I did. So you won't see that happen anytime soon.
I saw him playing that bass on TV not too long ago.
Oh yeah, it was a 69
Fender P bass.
P bass. Yeah. All right, a couple things happening, guys. Real quick here to stay in line. When we come back in July, lots of great stuff. Hey, come out on oh, that's not July. That's September. I turned my page around here. I got messed up. When we come back in July, I got to find July here somewhere.
June. I mean, in August.
We're not coming back in July. So if you come in July, don't bother coming. What happened to my August?
We got the boss up here. Has got a question, I think, or
yeah,
a statement.
Boss has got a question. I got all my pages. Yes, sir.
So that last question about you playing bass triggered another thought that I have asked you guys to maybe consider doing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of doing a round robin of everybody switching instruments, all 6 of you, and maybe continue to switch.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
And maybe keep you off of bass.
Yeah.
We got cowbell for you.
Well, some of that works. Yeah. No, I think
That
Chucky's that hurt, didn't it? Yeah. Well, yeah. We think about that. Sometimes we do that. The trouble with our band is we like to clown around and we like to goof around, but we don't like to be bad. We don't like, and we play a song, and if it doesn't sound good, I'm telling you, people want us to sing Seven Bridges Road all the time, and you all think it sounds awesome, but we don't, and we're probably our worst critics. And so if we do something and it doesn't, if it's funny, that's fine. But if it looks bad, and Nathan comes back in his ever so humble voice, and boy, you guys really suck tonight, and then we're not going to do that. That's
There's only so much he can fix.
yeah. There's only so much.
Not a magician.
All right, what I want to tell you, listen and look at all that stuff that Dave told you. There's a bunch of great stuff going on when we come back. That's what I want to tell you. In August, there'll be an Alabama tribute band here. Of course, Dr. Carl will be here with his John Denver show. A new guy this year, and his videos and all the promos look real good. August 16th, the Ultimate George Strait tribute, and he looks really good. Of course, Sean will be back with his Garth Brooks tribute on the 23rd, and Eddie. Probably have to have Eddie some kind of medication.
Sedation or something.
Sedation on August 30th for Shania Twin.
Yeah, I'm taking Mike's bodyguard position that day.
Yeah, Mike's
We're
security.
going to put the lights on remote control.
Mike's our security guy. Trouble is, Mike will have to work security for him, not for her.
That'd be better than having me on the lights.
I'm going to bring the spandex in to compare. We'll be back.
And then
Who are you comparing spandex with?
yeah.
Shania.
Oh, okay, I
me
thought
and
you meant
Shania.
me, and that ain't happening.
Listen, guys, on September 6th, come out and see my friend Tommy Kay. It's taken me, how many years have I been here to talk him into getting these guys in here? They're doing a thing that's called the Rock Show, and they're going to play all different kinds of 80s rock. But that dude sings like Steve Perry wished he could sing, because he's unbelievable. He's unbelievable. He sounds exactly like Steve Perry, but they are so good. Their band is so good. They'll be here September 6th. They're called The Rock Show. Steel and Peaches will be here on the 13th, the Allman Brothers Tribute Band.
They're really good.
Yep, something new, Linda Ronstadt. Was Linda Ronstadt tribute here?
Yes,
She
one
was?
time. One time.
Was I here?
You might have been in a fog that day.
Okay,
that was
could have been.
Dougie's medication
Could have
day.
been a medication day. Okay. September 20th. Then don't forget, folks, on September 21st, of course, nothing going on here at the Orange Blossom Opry, but it is, however, a magical day that my sorry butt will turn 73, if all goes well. And on the 27th, Bruce Springsteen tribute. It's Bruce Springsteen without all the BS
Drama.
politics. So there'll be
Bruce in the USA.
Yeah, Bruce the way Bruce should be, acting like a normal person instead of a jackass.
Just singing his songs.
Just sing your songs, Bruce. Don't go out on stage and be a jackass. We don't need that. Artemis Pyle Band will be here. Yeah, damn right. Artemis. Jeez, my nights. Pyle Band will be here. My wife wants to come and see Bo Bice because what was he on?
American Idol. He was runner-up to Carrie Underwood.
Yeah, and he was really good, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
yeah,
real
he's
good.
great.
Handsome,
Yeah,
long
Yeah.
hair.
not anymore.
No, well, he's got long hair yet, doesn't he?
I don't think he does now.
I thought I have to look at his promos.
I think so.
Why do you guys check out his promos? But I'll tell you what he has been doing a lot that's not been advertised. He's been hitting the buffets. That's. I mean, I don't know that for a fact. I'm just saying. Artemis Pyle Band, they're awesome. Artemis Pyle's awesome. They'll be here. So that's going on
He
September.
does still have long hair.
Yeah, he's got long hair.
He's
Yeah.
hippie.
Oh no, he's not a fatty. He looks all right.
Yeah, he's okay.
He's okay. Well, yeah, he's okay. I got no room to talk. So I'm thinking about getting on the pen. What is it called? What is that stuff? What is it
Ozempic?
called? Ozempic. No, I don't need to do
I'm
that.
on Ozempic, but that's for my diabetes.
I need to. I got like. Well, never mind. We don't want to talk about that. I got like a 2-pack. I got 2, and then where you're supposed to have 6, I got 2 at the top, and then it goes to hell right after that. I don't know what goes on.
You
All
got
right,
a
and-
2-pack with a pony keg?
Yeah, I got to.
We might be able to attribute some of that to Terry the Donut Lady.
Yeah.
Yeah, bad
Listen,
Terry. Bad Terry.
I eat one donut when they come. That's all. But I ate Dave's sprinkles.
He ate my sprinkles this morning.
He's back there licking the box.
If you're looking for
What the
other
hell?
choices, there was another donut fairy that brought
One
more
donut
flavors
here,
over here.
One,
I wasn't
one
supposed to
donut
say
at
that.
a time.
Yeah, no. Well,
Well,
once
and my son's in town too, so he's been really liking the donuts.
he gets the treat. Let me blow on through the rest of the year, everybody, real quickly. Artemis Pyle Band, ZZ Top Tribute Band. We go rock in the month of October. Moody Blues Tribute Band, Hotel California, Free Fall and Tom Petty, Bon Jovi, and come and see Santana Tribute, Soul Sacrifice. They're good. Rocket Man, Elton John will be back. And then starts out when Bobby gets back on the medication, which will probably start in October, but our Christmas shows. We got a slug of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right. Maybe a little more medication than anticipated for that. But anyway, so we got big things going on. If there's any more questions, we're fixing to wind up here. There's a couple right down here, Mike. Let's take the young lady first, and because that's what we do. Good morning.
Good morning. Bobby, I know you were with Sawyer Brown, and I know that you're a songwriter. Does Sawyer Brown sing any of the songs you wrote?
Probably not in the show. No, they're on their albums and
And
stuff.
then has anybody recorded songs you wrote? Because we have your CD, and it's wonderful. But
Oh,
has anybody
my-
recorded any of the
I
songs?
mean, other people. Yeah.
No, your CD. We bought it over here.
Oh yeah. Well, let's see. One of the songs on that CD, Confederate Railroad recorded, and I'm singing it. I was the only guy when I was in Confederate Railroad. Danny Shirley was the lead singer, Forever and Ever Never, and I was the only guy they let somebody else sing lead on one of their records. It was me. Reba McEntire's recorded some of my songs. Ty Herndon, Ricochet, Mickey Gilley. I think that's it. I can't remember. Yeah, let's get this guy here, then we'll get Facebook. Yes, sir. Good morning. Thank you.
Good morning, Dave from Pittsburgh.
Hi, Dave. It's dangerous, Dave, up here.
Yeah, I got that nickname now with my group of guys. But anyhow, the opening song Sunday, you blasted out of there. It just put everybody rocking in their seats on the first note.
What the hell do we play, Dave?
You
I don't know. What do we play?
The Beatles tune.
Can't do that. The Beatles tune.
He came
Yeah.
up.
I got something to say that might. Yeah, Beatles song. Well, thank you. That's kind of our version of Beatles song.
And the second thing is, I'm confused. Goodbye, my friend. Did he pass away?
On my record?
Yes.
You know, that happened in something happened in my life. So I oh boy, I had a big dog motorcycle, a chopper, big tire on the back, big motor, frame out front, goes fast. That's all they do. And my buddy had a Boss Hoss, which is a motorcycle that's got car engine on it, and all we did was drive crazy fast. And my bike would. I probably shouldn't be telling you this. Anyway, but like at 120 or 125 miles an hour when we were drag racing, he'd pass me like I was sitting still, like nothing. And I'd ask him, how fast does that bike go? He said, I'm afraid to look down. So, we were being stupid. Well, anyway, he missed the curve, and he's dead. And so they wanted me to sing something at his funeral, and I couldn't sing anything. I couldn't even hardly talk. But so I wrote that little song, and then I put it on that CD. And there's probably times now that I wished I hadn't. But it's on YouTube, and a little tribute to him. His name was Eric Mahoich. And then I sold my motorcycle after that and got back into riding a regular motorcycle. And I stopped riding like a jackass after that because it was all about hot rod. And that was probably, I don't know, about 10 years ago, maybe something like that. But anyway, was there a YouTube question or a Facebook question?
Facebook question. Bobby, could you please sing "Don't Let the Old Man In"?
Yeah, well, I don't think I'm appropriate to sing that. You know, I get a bunch of requests for that, and I started singing that before anybody sang it. And then everybody sings it. Every time you go somewhere, some old fart singing, "Oh man." So I quit singing it. But let's see. For our here's what we'll do. For the last Friday Night Live, which is not whenever it is, the last Friday Night Live
28th, I think.
before the break.
27th.
27th. I'll sing it that night. How's there? We'll put it in there so you guys can watch or write it down or whatever it is. What is it? The 27th?
27th, yeah.
Yeah. I'll sing it. I'll try it. I used to sing it a bunch, and then everybody started singing it. Yeah, that's all I got. I don't have anything for the first of the year, but Roger tells me that already booking next year loaded up, and it's funny because this configuration of the band, I don't want to talk bad about the old configuration, but those sorry sons, no, they didn't like to work like this band. Let's just say that. And there would be a lot of moaning and groaning. Oh, yeah. And so it was tough. And then the schedule wasn't like it is now. Back then, they would have never been able to hold up with that. So the new configuration of bands, when I say, man, Roger Byers has booked us crazy full, you know, all they do is smile and go, oh, it's another guitar. So, plus, Davey, I got to tell you something. Something might be coming in the mail tomorrow at the Randall House.
Uh-oh.
That's all I got to say
A
about
new bike?
that. No new bike. I don't set my bike. My wife said, "What are you gonna do about your motorcycle?" I said, "Well, Mike and I can't get it running. I'm gonna set it on fire and collect the insurance." So she said, "Don't do it in the garage." I said, "I'll try not to." So that's what's up with that. Any other questions? Just. Hey, can you pick these up, Roger? Will people be able to grab the brochures? Yeah. So grab a brochure before you leave, and when you come here, it's a really nice brochure. All these other people look really great in the picture. I look like a dork. However, just if you can overlook that, it's pretty great. Also, the Laura Kay show is going to start. I didn't tell you too much about that. After the first of the year, our Thursday nights are going to change to a show called Center Stage, which features Laura Kay.
After the 1st of August.
Well, whatever I said, don't pay attention to what I said. But I have it right. It is Laura Kay, right? Is
Yes.
that the person?
Yeah.
Okay. It's Laura Kay, and then it is here at the Orange Blossom Opry, right?
Yeah.
Okay, August 7th. Yeah. Why am I telling you folks this?
She's
You all know
cutting my
everything?
hair tomorrow.
Who, Laura Kay?
Yep.
Really?
I don't know how short I'm debating on it.
Just shave it off, Eddie.
No.
Hey,
We have
yeah,
one more question up front.
Yeah, grab the question.
So when you guys come back in August, is Friday Night Live starting up right away?
August 1st. will
First
be
show
our
back,
first-
I think, isn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
First show back is Friday Night Live. Yeah, so that's, we open up with the big old Friday Night Live. I can see ticket sales that far, and they're already kind of jumping up there. So if you want to come see that show.
Pole dancers, all kind of good stuff.
Yeah, no, there'll be no pole. Anyway,
I'm
come
a little concerned about this Friday Night Live.
What is that?
It's Friday the 13th.
Oh, it is?
Oh, boy.
I don't think we have any guests this Friday night. I haven't asked anybody to come and play or anything. It'll probably just be us playing, so I guess people are okay with it. Some people like when we have guests. Other people go, get off the stage. We just come to hear the boys play. So it'll be us. It'll be a lot of fun. What's Thursday? Is Thursday Classic Country?
Classic Country this Thursday.
So Classic Country this Thursday. This is a tough week for the boys in the band because poor Randy, all of us. I think if I said to you, you need to go out and sing an hour's worth of Classic Country by yourself, you could probably do that.
Yeah,
I think
I'd have to probably get into the early 80s, but I'd
Chris
be all
could
right.
do that. Keith could do that. I can sing hours of it because I played my daddy's band. But poor Randy didn't grow up listening to that stuff, so he does an incredible job. But poor guy's got to learn all those songs. So come up and say, I want to do Saginaw, Michigan. And if I said, kick it off, you would go, I was born.
in Saginaw, Michigan.
Randy goes, Saginaw, Michigan, where's that? And I said, no, it's a song. So poor Randy. He does a great job, though. So that's going on this weekend, Thursday and Friday. Anything else we can do for you all? Because we're going to head on out of here pretty soon.
Raincoats.
Is it raining out?
Sure is.
Oh,
Dang it.
dangerous. You're on your motorcycle.
I'm on the bike.
Oh, no.
That's all right. I ain't going to
Oh,
melt.
there's another Harley going to be fixed.
He's not the only one.
Oh, you're on a bike, too? Your new bike?
Oh,
Oh, it's getting...
Dan was
Dan,
too.
too? Oh, God.
His brand new bike.
Well,
Uh-oh.
Mike, too. Mike and Dan and Dave are all on their motorcycles today. so.
Dan's and mine are undercover, though, Dave. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh, man.
Oh, did you guys get under the awning somewhere?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. You pull
These
up
guys
on
are
here?
smart.
Yeah, pull up
Nice.
here.
Special dispensation from Roger, and thank you very much, Roger.
Roger Byers
Got a
to the
special
rescue.
VIP motorcycle parking out there.
Roger made Man to the rescue. Boom, boom. Roger Byers to the rescue.
Yeah.
Go, Roger. All right, awesome. Well, listen, we're going to get out of here. God bless you, folks. Thank you so much for coming. And come see us at the Orange Blossom Opry. Why? You'll be glad you did.